A quote by Jim Rohn says, "You become free the moment you need nothing from anyone." And today we're going to discuss what that means. I'm your coach, and this is our channel where we help you get to your goals faster, starting with your mindset. One of the things I really like about the quote, "You become free the moment you need nothing from anyone," is that it has two parts to it. On the surface, it sounds like if you don't need anything from anybody, then you're free. But when we look closer at those words, we realize that there are actually two different meanings for the word need. So let's break down this quote and talk about why not needing anything from anyone can be a pathway to freedom. The first part of the quote, "You become free," refers to the freedom that we all desire. We want to feel like we have options, that we can make our own choices and live life the way we want to. The second part of the quote, "The moment you need nothing from anyone," refers to a state of mind, a state of being in which we are no longer attached to external circumstances or people. In other words, we don't depend on anyone or anything to make us happy or fulfilled. Now, there are two interpretations of the word need in this context. The first interpretation is the need for material things. When we hear the phrase, "you need nothing," we often think about physical objects, money, status, or any other external thing that we think we must have in order to be happy or fulfilled. This is the type of need that most people are aware of and try to fulfill through their actions. For example, if you need food, you go to the grocery store and buy some food. If you need money, you get a job or ask for a raise. If you need love and attention, you might spend time with friends or family, or go out and meet new people. But there's another type of need that we often overlook, and that's the need for external approval and validation. This is the kind of need that keeps us stuck in the past or worrying about the future. It's the need to be right, to be better than others, or to avoid failure. This is the type of need that prevents us from taking risks, from being creative, or from living in the present moment. Let me tell you an experience I had recently. I was coaching someone who felt stuck in his personal development journey. He had all the right ideas, he read all the books, but he wasn't able to apply them to his life and make the changes he wanted to see. When we dug deeper, we realized that what he really needed was to stop seeking validation from others. He needed to stop caring what people thought of him so that he could start living authentically. Once he understood this, he was able to let go of his need for approval and start making real progress towards his goals. When we look at these two types of needs, we can see that they both stem from a lack of self-mastery. When we are not in control of ourselves, when we are not self-aware or self-disciplined, we will always be at the mercy of external circumstances and people. We will always be reacting to what is happening instead of proactively creating the life we want to live. So how do we overcome these needs? How do we become free? Well, the first step is to become aware of our needs, both the material ones and the ones for external approval and validation. Only once we are aware of our needs can we start to question them and decide whether they are really necessary. Often we find that many of our needs are not really needs at all, but just wants. And these wants are often based on fear or insecurity, rather than on a genuine desire for something. Once we've identified our needs, we can start to develop strategies for overcoming them. For example, if we need more money, we can look for ways to increase our income or to reduce our expenses. If we need more love and attention, we can focus on building stronger relationships with the people in our lives or on developing a deeper connection with ourselves. And if we need more approval and validation, we can work on developing a more positive self-image and a greater sense of self-worth. Becoming free from our needs does not mean that we become indifferent to the suffering of others or that we stop caring about the world around us. On the contrary, it means that we become more effective in helping others because we are no longer blinded by our own ego and our own need for attention. When we are free from our needs, we can truly listen to others and empathize with their struggles. We can also be more creative in finding solutions to problems because we are not limited by the constraints of our own ego and our own need for recognition. In fact, becoming free from our needs is one of the keys to becoming a great leader. Leaders who are free from their needs are able to inspire and motivate others in a more authentic and meaningful way. They are also better able to handle adversity and to make difficult decisions in times of crisis. So what can you do today to become freer? Well, the first step is always the hardest, and that's to become aware of our needs. Pay attention to what you are constantly thinking about. Are you constantly worried about money or status or what other people think? Once you become aware of your needs, ask yourself whether they are really necessary. Are you truly fulfilled by the things you possess? Or are you just using them to fill a void inside of you? Jim Rohn said that we become free the moment we need nothing from anyone. But I would add that we also become freer when we give something to everyone. When we are concerned with the needs of others, when we are focused on helping others and making a difference in the world, we become less concerned with our own needs. We become less attached to outcomes and more focused on the journey. When we are no longer attached to outcomes, we are freer to pursue what we want without the fear of failure or the need for perfection. We are freer to take risks and to be creative. And that is when we are at our best. That is when we are truly alive. And remember, becoming free is a journey, not a destination. It's a process that requires constant awareness and effort, but the rewards are enormous. When we are free, we are able to live a life that is true to ourselves. We are able to pursue our dreams and to make a difference in the world. We are also better able to connect with others and to build strong relationships. So if you want to become freer, if you want to live a life that is true to yourself, then pay attention to your needs. Ask yourself whether they are really necessary and focus on giving something to others. That is the path to freedom. And if you liked this video, hit the subscribe button below. It really helps us reach more people with these messages. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. What does freedom mean to you?